Guys, welcome to episode 41. This is the peer-to-peer network. We are working on creating the second iteration of the peer-to-peer network, and we are solving all the adjacent problems uh, surrounding this goal. And that means that one of the things that we need to solve is how we allow user profile to be created from the applications that use the peer-to-peer network. And we have been working on this procedure for the last two episodes, and we're going to continue at this one with exactly that. So let's get to code, and it's not here, not here, here. So the next thing we need to code is adding the sign-in accounts and then saving and then signing all the stuff. So for that, I also going to look at how the profile constructor is doing this at the user interface. So we have already gone through all the procedure of okay, here, just not for me to forget this. So here we are going to do this. We need the user profile to be a plugin. So my guess is that this user profile has a property that is called isPlugin. No, we don't need that. That's not something that is our problem because it's going to be already saved as a plugin. So when it loads, it's going to be a plugin. So nothing to do there. The next thing to do is to work on the sign-in accounts. And for that, let's check how this guy doing. Okay. So the first thing we are doing is locating the objects we need to sign. In our case, there is only one object that is already here in user apps. When we add this object or this object, then this will need a sign-in account. Okay, so how this is done? At the profile constructor, um, So what we are doing here is the following. Create wallet account. So we will need to create a wallet. We are signing that and put it into the config. And then we create a secrets file. So there's a big procedure. Okay, but everything is kind of the same of what we already did or similar. So add sign-in accounts. This is something that we are going to reuse this procedure once we do the add. When we add when we add a new social persona or new social trading bot, then we need to add all the sign-in accounts. So I kind of think that maybe I should create a utility, an utility module where I send a profile and it runs all this procedure somehow. And it recreates all the sign-in accounts so that whenever we need that to happen, and probably we can move all this stuff from here in there. So instead of running this through the user interface, or maybe not, maybe we have an OGS base version of this. Yeah, okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to directly do it at the place that runs a generic procedure that is going to search for all the possible places where a sign-in account must be. It's going to delete them, add a new one, create the wallets, sign, and then save everything where it should be saved. Um, so this is going to be what we're going to be doing at this episode at least. Okay, so what do we have here? So let's start with this process. So we will need a utility module. I'm not sure that this is a problem of this guy. Social trading is most likely a problem of the governance project. So the governance project is all UI, okay? So we will create a new folder called SA, and inside SA we're going to create a new folder called utility. And here signing accounts GS. Okay, so we will need something similar to this, but it's going to be like governance utilities signing accounts. Okay, so we're going to move this function in here, and then we will see if we execute it only from here or also from the UI. So this is going to be the Node.js version of this function that we are going to completely transform. Okay. But here is the full procedure. So we will receive the user profile. Okay, so this starts like this. But before that, let's check the profile schema, and okay, this is too much. So we will get to the governance project somehow. Okay, so we have UI. Okay, so we will have this. Okay, so signing accounts now is a module of the governance project inside SA. So that means that can be loaded at any place. Okay, that includes the platform. That means that I could send from the UI the whole profile inside there and get everything signed and remove all that logic from the user interface. Cool. So now let's put this to work. We will need this to work. So step by step. Okay, so the first thing this needs is the code name of the user profile, but our user profile is not creating a code name property of the configuration. So we will do that so that everything fits together. Code name is going to be this thing. Okay, so that problem solved. Okay, so we are going to need a way to deal with the problem that might happen here. We will use this technique that we have been using all through. Return response. Okay, we don't need this because we don't need the profile constructor to have a reference because there's no profile constructor here. Good. So we will need the version of this function that is not running at the UI. But this version. So we will replace this by this. Perfect. So all this stays the same. Okay, so now here, all this complicated code for creating a wallet. We already created a wallet before here. Very easily like this. And also we sign. And everything happened in a few lines of code like this. So we create an account, an address, we have a private key. So hold on. First, create the wallet. We have the address and the private key. Okay, so all of this dies. Then signing. To sign, we have to send another request and blah, blah, blah. We are signing the same stuff that here, but here is not this, but is the user profile handle that we are going to sign. So this is how we are going to deal with this. Let me check if my signing accounts okay, code name, it's got a code name, but it's calculated in a certain way. Okay, so up to here we got the signature. Okay, so here we are assuming delete sign-in account if it already exists. So target node type. Okay, so here is where we store the config. It's going to be sign-in account dot config equals to JSON stringify config. Adding the signature. Okay, so let me explain this. Up to here, we created the config with the signature. Okay, so what this script does is that it deletes the current sign-in accounts. So my guess is that each node of these can only have one sign-in account. Yes, one sign-in account. So it deletes whatever it has or it replaces it. So we don't need to delete, we just create a new one, okay? Because we are not at the user interface. So what you're going to say is just create the sign account node. So sign account is going to be an object. In fact, the target node dot sign account. Okay. So let's add it there. So we have been adding nodes like here. Type is going to be signing account. The new, and this is the governance project. Sign account with no governance. Okay, all this dies. So the config, we will add the config that we already have. So we don't need to add a signature. Okay, then we do the con name, the handle. We store at the user profile, the signing user. So this is replaced by, of course, that we are going to do a target node dot sign account equals this. Okay. So we are going to do all this, but the target node code name maybe this config. So I'm trying to just to put the things in the right order. So it seems that um, so this can be done before this. Then we create this signing stuff, but before that, Okay, there are a few things that need to happen. We have the config object here with the signature. We're going to bring the config object down here. So the code name is going to be this code name. And this is gone. Then the config goes inside this and this inside this. So there is another thing that we are touching, that is the code name. Hold on. This is what is gone. So another thing that we are touching is the code name of the target node. We are recreating a code name. So we will need the target node config. We're going to need to parse the JSON.parse config. Not config dot code name is going to be equal to seems the same stuff. Then we will revert this with a JSON stringify. This. So that's how we modify this stuff. Code name for the target node. Then we create a sign-in account object and we put it into here. For social entities, I don't see that this is creating me the handle. But it's creating it here. Handle. Okay. So for social entities, I think I would need an equivalent property of this guy. We will need another module like equivalent for this, but for Node.js. Or probably this should be an SA module that can be reused both at the user interface, but I am very much diverging. But the thing is that this is needed, and it will be needed. So why don't I send this node functions? I want to see how was the technique in order to have a utility that can run both. I think this was an example of one that can run at the UI and at Node.js at the same time. Let me check this. Okay, no, I'm not sure how to do this. Um, no config. Okay, let's do it right. So I'm going to move this guy from here. Okay, before doing this, I'm going to commit my changes because it's going to be a brutal change. Okay, so signing accounts utility half. Okay, so let's do an experiment here. What if I move this from here into here? I'm talking about node config. I will need to do an export. Okay, so it's going to be SA. So then I'm going to come here and check for this. Check for this. So 107 results, but I'm going to refactor this into this. Okay, massive change everywhere. And then the other one, what if I do this? Is this going to work? This is a good example of something that you can learn now. How if we put these functions into the SA root object, we might be able to use it at the same time, depending on what it is, but at Node.js and at the browser. Okay, so this is a good candidate because it's doing something very, oh no, because we have this payload concept, and this payload concept means instead of receiving this, we are receiving the payload, and that prevents us to have it at Node.js because at Node.js we don't have this. Okay. So we will revert all the changes. So what I'm going to do instead is this node configs. I'm going to create a new version of this. That is going to be here. So we will add this. I'm afraid that this is going to create a kind of a conflict because it's the same name. So I'm going to change this. Here we're going to replace the payload by node. Node. So this is going to be the node. Okay, so what we did was to create this new stuff here. We pass a node and we'll put or extract something from the configuration of a node. So we will need to add this to the profile schema. It's going to be a new utility and node configuration is the name here. Okay, that is okay. So now we have node configuration, something that we can use. So node functions, we will find an example of somebody using this. Just to have the right path. So here, instead of doing this without error handling, and what we are going to do is I don't need you anymore. Code name. So essentially we want here to save this stuff. Save a property. So this is going to be target node. Property name is going to be code name, and the value is going to be code name. So in one line we have the problem solved forever. Okay, and there was a very similar situation here. What we're going to do is this without the payload handle hat. Amazing. Okay, the saving of the user profile is not something that you're going to do here. That is part of the overall process. But at some point we will be saving that stuff. So where are we here? For social entities, we will automatically create a default handle. Okay, we did that. Deal with the secrets. Secrets. So we create the secrets, blockchain account. Okay, blockchain account. I don't think we had this, but we have what we used to call account. So that is going to be the blockchain account. User profile handle, sign account, blah, blah, blah. So we add to the secrets array okay, and when we finish everything, we will do something similar to what is going on here. What is this create new dir? My god, there is a lot of divergences because of lack of this being well done. Mm, sorry, where were we? Okay, so what we need to do essentially what we need to do is to have a function or to so create new dir is not something that we have. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is the secrets file. What we want to save, okay? Secrets file. But there are some issues we need to solve. First, the saving of the secrets file have to be after we finish with all this stuff. So this comes after we finish with everything. Okay, so that's one thing. The next thing is that we have this function create new dir that I wonder why this is not. There is also a way to save a file that is already programmed. Files and directories. Okay, so this is the guy that is doing that for a whole path. So who is using this guy? But anyway, this is for a whole path. I might be able to What if I add this guy? A new function. Where's the HTTP interface? So this looks like a simpler version of the other one. I just don't want to destabilize the code base. I prefer to move this to a common place and use it from there. Mm, I can also be using the other one, to be honest. Um, but whatever. Um, so I need an example usage of this so that I can use this whatever I was running this. Okay. So now this little function was moved. Okay. Again, this already existed at files and directories. So I don't need to add it at the profile schema, at the project schema. So coming back to here, I can do just like this. The thing that I'm not sure is going to work is these SA node modules. Okay. Yeah, it's going to work. So sign in accounts. Okay. So it seems that we reached the end of this conversion. Um, by doing this, if this works, that would mean that we can come here at the profile constructor and replace all this code. Install sign-in account. Replace all this with directly running that script. The problem we will have while we are adding nodes, I don't know if we will have any problem. I'm not sure I want to do this now, but if I don't do it now, nobody's going to do it. So I guess I'm going to do it. Okay, let me put a signing account reimplementation at Node.js done. It might have some small things missing, but we are there. So what do we need to do here? We get the user profile. Yes. The problem with doing this is that if we send the user profile to Node.js and then we get it back, how do we know then things have changed there? I cannot just send the user profile. I don't think I'm going to move this from here. The problem that the user profile here is a structure of nodes that has references and payload and 1,000 stuff. So it's not going to work, this. What I'm thinking is that maybe when the user saves the profile, There will be some problems here because here we are calculating all the signing accounts again, but let's say that you have your profile and you have your mobile app. The mobile app knows the private key of the user app for that purpose. So how is this going to deal with the fact that you're going to be changing the private key at your desktop of the user app? So this is not really going to work. I mean, regenerating everything is not going to work. What we actually need is a way to not to regenerate everything, but only it's even more complicated. We need to regenerate only the signing account of the node we have just created and keeping everything else. So the platform is as the user interface. Okay, if you want to regenerate everything, because you are designing there your nodes and all the stuff, but later on you cannot do that. So this is going to receive the user profile and the signing account no ID. And what we are going to do here is scan all the signing account profile and create a wallet network for the one see here. Then we will create, but there's a problem. Oh my god, it's much bigger than what I thought. The problem is that I cannot override the secrets file. The secret file, I need to load it and add a record to it. So the problem is quite different to the one that I thought that I had. I thought that I had to port whatever was at the UI into here, but it's not enough with that. Okay, so it seems that what we need to do is quite different, and also it changes the way that the names are calculated. So all this naming will depend on how many nodes of the same type, the parent of the. So everything it needs to be changed. Okay, everything will need to be changed. Okay, so we ran out of time of this episode, and I will take a few notes here of what needs to be done. The first thing is to try to load the secrets file. Then we will need at some point take care of the naming of the target node or the current target nodes. So the problem is totally different. We don't need to go through all this. We just need a node. In fact, we need the node. Okay, so it's totally different problem. Um, well, I think I'm going to leave it here, and we are going to redo this at the next episode because it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. So let's leave it here and see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.